Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nef Nugget, where I give you one tip that would inspire you to act and motivate you to move. And today we're talking about 3 mistakes you're making on your sales calls. Are you, when you get on your sales calls, palm sweating, so nervous, maybe not even know what you're going to say when you go on a sales call? You're desperately trying not to sound desperate, but all you do is sound desperate on the sales call. Or maybe you even nervous about telling them the investment. If that's you, you're in the right place. And I'm going to share with you today those 3 mistakes you're making on the sales calls. But let me just tell you, I understand where you've been because I've been there. I will go to share the investment and I will go ahead and discount it in my head before I will share the actual investments. And I want you to know it gets better. It definitely gets better. I also remember just, so desperately not wanting to sound salesy. I put myself in like this friend bubble almost, and the person, the prospect would end up basically taking over the call and would go down all these rabbit holes and not really addressing the purpose of the call and doing what we're supposed to do on the call, because we end up going through all these rabbit holes. So let's talk today about what those 3 mistakes you're making on your sales calls. So number one, you're letting your prospect control the call. You're letting them do most of the talking. You're letting them lead the conversation. They're telling you all kinds of things, because this may be the first time anybody's ever just been quiet and listened to them. But you got to remember, that is not the purpose of a sales call. You need to set what the expectation is and ask the questions you need to ask to get the answers you need to draw the best conclusion for them. If that's for you to offer a service that you provide because that's the best solution, or to refer them to someone else if that is better. But you have to control this conversation. And I know we think it is rude to cut people off, but in this situation, you're going to have to just do it as politely as you can. You can wait till they pause and jump right in, or you can just say, well, wait a second. Let me ensure I'm understanding what you're saying. You said X, Y, and Z. Being that, let me ask you the next question and keep the flow of the conversation going. Number two, assuming what your prospect can afford. Do not assume that because of whatever reason, they can't afford your services, or you need to discount your service, or you need to make some type of extended payment plan just so that they can get into your service. We can afford whatever we want to afford. We have guest rooms and never have guests at our house. We have cars in the garage that we barely even drive. We got clothes that we probably haven't even worn in a year. And that's not because we've gained weight or it's out of style. It's just because we have so many that we don't ever get to some of those things. So do not project or assume or what people can afford. Don't be counting your prospects' pockets. Number three, talking after you've given the investment. You need to be quiet after you give the investment. The person who talks after giving the investment is the person who walks away with the product. So if you have to mute yourself, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're quiet after you state your investment, make sure that you do that. If your prospect says, hello, are you still there, or anything like that, just say, yes, I'm still here. I'm just providing you the space to decide how you can make this investment. Okay, so those are the 3 things that you're doing, that 3 ways you're making mistakes on your sales calls. And I also gave you some actions and some tips for you to switch those things. So let me recap right here. So number one, you're letting your prospect control the call. Number 2, you're assuming they can't afford your service or product. And number 3, you're talking after you give the investment. Now, if you are a Parallel-Preneur powerhouse and you're struggling with closing in your sales calls, then we need to have a conversation. So make sure you go to bit.ly/book with Nef and select discovery session so I can help you close more in your sales calls. All right, so the next time, be profitable and be blessed. Bye for now.